Okay, here you go. It's recording.
Yeah, long time no see. Took a week off. Jim had some stuff to do, right?
Yeah.
Some family plans, good stuff, good
No,
times.
it was fun. Yeah. So we went to. So there's this like resort. It's kind of like an old people resort, but like it's our. It's called the Welk Resort, and it's actually. So do you know who Lawrence Welk is?
I don't, but I've been to the Wilkes Resort before. Well,
Okay.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, I don't really know Lawrence Welk either. I just know he was like he had a show on TV,
Oh.
and it was like like it was almost like a variety show but with like a big band. I don't know. I from what I heard, like grandparents used to watch this show,
It sounds like
but it was filmed there.
Oh.
I think is where they like used to film it, but now it's just like a Hyatt vacation club
Luxury
thing.
resort.
Well, yeah, it's also like a timeshare. So
Yeah.
like, but like somebody gave us their timeshare for a week, and it was really nice of them, and it was a really relaxing time, and it was really fun. So that's where I was. Not that we. This is still the first thing we're posting.
Oh.
I don't.
Yeah, we didn't look at the other one, did we?
No, and I lost it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we can start over then. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to start over.
Yeah.
But we recorded something, and
You-
it just didn't work.
Yeah, it was a first run through. You know what I mean? First space flight didn't go as planned, right?
Exactly. So this is for us our second time. For you, it's your first time.
First time was our Challenger mission, and it did not. It went the same way as that one.
Yeah, but
No
I think we
disrespect-
figured out all our problems.
No disrespect to the Challenger people, though, but it was not elite. Wasn't successful.
You know, people think that the people didn't actually get on the plane. And here's the thing: like, I wish I could.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, yeah, they think that they just shot a rocket up empty, and like the people that were on it, are they just went back and lived their normal lives under different names. One of the guys does have it's something like two of them have identical twins.
What?
And then another one, there's this guy like with a different name that looks exactly like him that teaches like physics or something like NASA oriented. I obviously am not a trusted source here, but
This is all conspiracy.
but yeah, dude, like it is kind of crazy, the pictures. There's some crazy pictures about it.
Well, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I'm already kind of suspect on the moon landing as is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I guess, said it was legit, like the footage was, but I don't know how trustworthy that guy is.
Yeah, but Buzz Aldrin said it isn't like
Yeah,
twice.
exactly, and he was there.
supposedly went.
Neil would lie for science, I think.
So here's the thing. So
protect-
I have watched the videos
Yeah.
of like when they get back, or like or when they get back, and they all look so unimpressed with themselves and everything, and it's a weird view. Anybody should go watch it. There's this press conference with the three of them, and like people are asking them questions, like all excited, like this amazing thing just happened, and they seem like bored and bothered.
That's wild.
It is. It's
They're
really
just
weird. Like
completely
you get a
uninterested.
weird vibe about it.
Yeah, but like, I mean, if you've been to space, like, and you're just sitting there listening to people who haven't been there explain space, it is probably pretty boring. Like, these guys don't know shit, man. Like, I was there. Why aren't I
and that's
answering
true.
questions?
I don't know.
I've never seen the interview though, so I don't know.
No,
how it
yeah,
goes.
well, yeah, it doesn't come off as like you dummies. It comes off as like I don't really know how to describe an experience that I haven't been a part of. And therefore I'm just kind of staying quiet and like trying to get out of this situation. It's like that kind of bored and bothered.
That makes more sense.
Right?
I see
Like
what you're
I
saying.
can't talk about anything, but I also like just want to get out of here. I don't
That's
know.
fair. I mean,
But it could be anything else. I don't know.
I've also seen little bits and pieces of clips about like maybe him being scared of what he saw on the moon.
Yeah, that's the
Because
other theory.
What is the moon really? Does anyone? I've seen some completely possibly true, possibly not true conspiracy videos on the moon, I mean, some of it sounds legit.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's, like, reports of one of the astronauts that said when they landed on it, it rang like a bell, like it was hollow.
I thought, because didn't they? I thought that was a separate thing that they shot an object into the moon, like they launched it in, and when it hit, it rang like for hours, like a bell.
Maybe.
Which it could be both.
I don't know. I'm trying to access really old information here, so you're probably right.
I have I watched the video a lot.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's interesting stuff. Like, granted, the guy had an animated goldfish next to him, questioning a lot of his points. So, I mean, you take it at face value.
I know what you're talking about, and I've been trying to show the boys. I have 2 boys, and I'm like trying to show them those videos because I think they'll like the goldfish, and that they can kind of learn some stuff about some weird stuff. I think conspiracy videos are a good way to like learn history 100%. In a cool way, right? Like it gives you like a mystery plus a history.
Exactly. Wow, look at you. You should coin that phrase.
I know, right? That was pretty good. I was really proud of it when it came out.
It was a very dad moment. You're probably waiting to use that one, huh? You've been practicing that.
No, that was completely out of thin air.
Switching the order back and forth, trying to figure out which one sounds better on the way over here.
How do I get us to talk about it?
I want it to sound cool, but like I want it to be like legit and organic, but like funny. I don't know. Like overthinking is awesome.
But yeah, so like I think those. Yeah, I do think that about that. But no, like I think that I think as long as humans have been alive, we've looked up at the fucking moon and been like, what the fuck is that? It's so fucking weird. Because it is. Mm-hmm. There's nothing else that looks like it, and it's right there, and it's impossible not to look at all the time.
Well, so check this out. The theory is, and again, conspiracy, that if you look at it, every culture has a legend of some sort of giant myth of a flood, like religions, cultures. I don't know how many of them, but a good amount of them might. I believe the Zulu.
I think it's like all of them.
Yeah.
It is like all of them.
And like, if you think about it, when the moon came into the orbit, it would affect because it affects the tides.
Yeah.
So it would affect the water in the Earth's atmosphere, and all the water would simultaneously fall out of the sky because it changed the influence of the water, you know? And when that happened, all that water caused that giant flood, and that's where that comes from. So you never know.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, because it like controls the tides.
Yeah. Well, and think about how much of like people think their emotions and stuff are linked to the moon. I mean, what percentage of water are we made out of? Quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
So like.
No, I do. That's actually really good.
And if it were an alien base, that's how they can control us, just like that.
Well, yeah, I like to think about it that way. Like it's just the Death Star, and they're like. You know, it's like that South Park episode where we're a TV show.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think it's fun to think about it that way. I think a lot of them are like, it's just fun to think about what it could be.
100%.
Right?
Where's the fun in it being just a giant rock in space? Like, come on now.
Dude, I've heard the theory that the Earth is round, but the moon is flat. No. Which I no credence to. I'm not. I think it's just a weird one that I've heard, and I'm like, oh, that's wild. Yeah, like you think that's flat? I feel like it looks round, but I don't know. People think all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the moon, man. It's up there. We don't know. Only certain people have been there, allegedly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If no one's been there, then we really don't know.
And if you watch 2001 Space Odyssey, you're going to watch that and tell me that Stanley Kubrick wasn't capable of faking a moon landing that movie?
Have you ever heard of Capricorn 1?
No, what is that?
Oh, it's a movie with O.J. Simpson about them faking the moon landing.
What's it called?
It's called Capricorn 1, I think. It's Capricorns and then a number. But my father-in-law watches it all the fucking time. It's such a good movie.
As soon as you leave.
It's wild. Like, and it is like, because it's like a whole movie. I don't know. It's a crazy movie. It's a good one. It's a wild ride. And it is kind of like, oh, like this seems like weirdly suggestive.
Yeah.
But, and that's the whole thing with The Shining is that they think that The Shining is Kubrick admitting that he faked the moon landing. Have you heard that?
I have not heard
That's
that.
wild,
I've
dude.
also never seen The Shining.
So there's a movie called Room 243 or whatever the movie. There's a room in The Shining.
Okay.
There's a movie named after the room in The Shining, and apparently the idea is that the moon is supposedly 243,000 miles away.
Okay.
So, but then there's like a lot of other stuff that, like, I don't know. There's like all this symbolism. There's this guy that goes into it, but yeah.
That's wild.
I know it is. It's a good one. It's a wild ride. Like, it's for sure. It's one of the more fun little avenues to get into.
Well, and also I'm pretty sure. Did you know that the hotel that The Shining was like based on is in Estes Park, Colorado?
Yes,
and you can stay there.
I've always wanted to.
I stayed at a cabin down the street from that place.
Oh, so you got to look at the overlook.
I didn't get to look, but I was like, I kind of stayed away from it because it was like at a pivotal point. And I was like, dude, demons are real, man. And I was like, I don't want to mess with it, whether they're ghosts or demons, whatever the hell they are.
Yeah, I don't know how much of the, like, if it's.
I've heard it's actually haunted. Like, it's
yeah.
legit.
Well, I think anything that old has got a little bit of ghost in it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and ghosts are real. I will say, definitively, ghosts are real.
Oh yeah.
I've had ghost experiences. I've seen
Yeah, me
ghosts.
too.
They're legit. So whatever.
So when me and my wife lived in Asheville, North Carolina, our first apartment was in a, like, it used to be a hotel, and from our understanding, it used to be like a brothel. And dude, weird shit would happen there all the time, and it was the
orgies past.
yeah, honestly, yeah, like all these, like, you know, Wild West women were, like, you know, turning our lights on and off. We'd see shadows, like, it was crazy, like, and we had all this old appliances because it was like a furnished studio apartment, so it literally was like a hotel room.
Yeah.
And but, like, yeah, it, like, just lights would turn on and off, would flicker.
Wow.
It was just, yeah, like, weird stuff. You felt like you were around something sometimes.
Oh,
and I can't describe that more than that. It's just like you just feel like somebody's there.
Feeling presence is real.
Yeah.
Like, there's times where, like, you feel presence and you turn around and there's someone there, but then you also get that same feeling and there's no one there. But it's like, how does that feeling really get replicated, you know?
Well, and the other thing I've noticed is that I feel like on the East Coast, because it's so much older, you get a lot more of that.
Which
like,
is true.
Like here on the West Coast, I don't know, just things aren't as old. And, like,
yeah, they are. You have, like, the missions and stuff.
Yeah, but that's like
the missions are old.
They're old, but they're not as old.
I mean, they're pretty damn old. I would say I mean, maybe not as old as, like, civilization on the East Coast, I guess, in the sense of, like, are you talking, like...
They had, like, there was, like, thousands of people living in boxes, right?
West.
Yeah,
okay,
and then,
it's
so, like, yes, there were people here always. Like, there's Native Americans, right? Like, there's always that. Like, that's why the whole, like, poltergeist, like, Indian burial ground is, like, such a thing. Because, like...
That was poltergeist.
Yeah, that's what... The poltergeist... You gotta watch some horror movies.
Dude, no. Why, dude? I smoke enough weed. I'm already paranoid.
Really?
About scary movies.
Oh my god, you're not a scary movie person?
No, dude.
How did I not know this about you?
Because here's the thing, like, demons, like, I don't mess with, like, demons and stuff, and, like, the only other thing that, like murderers, that's a real thing that exists. Now I'm paranoid every time I go to my car. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
I love it. I guess I love scary movies. I just figure everybody loves scary movies. I, like, love scary movies. They're probably my favorite movie.
I walk around life anxious enough. I don't want to, like, be anxious in my free time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I want to watch a goddamn superhero movie and know everything's okay. I want to watch Batman beat the shit out of Superman.
That's fair. Yeah. No, I am kind of big on that. Like, I think people, like, I'm not a big drama movie person, and it's not that I don't get it. It's just that it's like...
You don't care.
Well, it's... like, if I want to feel, like, sad and shit, like, I'd rather just, like, experiencing something real.
Yeah.
And if I'm watching a movie, I just want it to be, like, a little bit out there. So, I want to be transported somewhere else.
So this theory just dawned on me, and for the women out there that will potentially be listening, hopefully, please feel free to let me know if I'm right or wrong about this. But... So the reason I think women like those movies so much is because, like, and I'm not sexist, but men and women experience emotions very differently. and women tend to be a little
More.
more emotional. Just saying, I can be emotional at times, but it's not a consistent thing for me. Anywho, if they watch a sad movie and they cry, like, that just gets it out of their system. You know what I mean? And so it's more of a way to, like, control those feelings that come in waves, which it may not be, like, a legit planned thing, like, oh, we're going to watch these movies so we're not sad during the day. But, like, in theory, maybe the more sad movies you watch, the better you'll feel throughout the day.
It's like a workout.
Yeah.
No, and I get that.
It is like a workout.
I get that. Yeah, like it's like you're working out a certain muscle. Your muscle is your emotions, your emotional intelligence, whatever. I get that. No, like, and I'm not even saying like there's good dramas out there.
Yeah.
But like, I guess the way I'd say it is the older I get, the less time I have for movies, and when I actually want to go and watch a movie, I want it to take me away from the pressures of life. And
yes.
yeah, and that's like, you know, and I feel like life's hard enough without like wanting to feel some, and maybe that's maybe this is just me showing you that I have no emotional intelligence, and I'm like no, I just want to avoid all my problems. Come on.
Well, what you're describing actually is called escapism.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole movie theater industry is based on.
Yeah, exactly.
Dark room, and for 2 hours your problems are disappearing.
I am just true to form.
Exactly.
I guess I just want them like, and I think that movies that do this like the best are like Pulp Fiction is such a movie that like takes you somewhere else, but is still really good.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, fuck you, man.
Fuck you, dude. I'm sorry I'm not fucking 30.
I'm gonna bring you like a hard drive full of all these movies.
Maybe that can be a segment. I'll watch the movie and we talk about it.
Yeah,
dude. What do you
think?
think?
Well, yeah, you got to watch the movies. Like you got to watch Pulp Fiction.
Well, and so I've seen like interviews with John Travolta, which anyways, seen interviews with John Travolta, and he was talking about how like he went to like I think rehab facilities to talk to people about what it was like to be on heroin.
Yeah.
And like they said, like imagine like laying in a hot bath, and that's like part of like what the come down is like. And so he tried to replicate that feeling. So when he would go into film, he'd get in the hot bath and he'd get out and get ready, and then just ride with that. I think I don't know, something along those lines.
His hair always does seem kind of wet in that movie.
Yeah. Just a greasy little.
Yeah, dude. No, but it's stylistically probably one of the coolest movies of all time.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody who doesn't like it. I'm sure we could find someone, but it's one of those.
I see Pulp Fiction T-shirts.
Yeah, dude, it's one of the best fucking movies of all time.
Yeah,
like
it's a Tarantino film. I like Tarantino.
So you've seen other Tarantino films and you've never seen Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
That's like his movie.
Well, I don't like purposely watch Tarantino films. I just if something comes up and it's Quentin Tarantino, I'll watch it. But
okay, so like give me what have you seen?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay. I mean it's new, but
I saw Hateful Eight, I think.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that one.
That one was good, or whatever one he did that was with the West and Jeff Bridges. I haven't seen it in a while, but I think I watched that one. And then, what are some of the other ones? Let's think.
Have you seen like Django Unchained?
No, I have not seen Django.
Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
Yes, I've seen Inglourious Bastards.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, that one's of his newer ones. That one's the most fun for me. But what's the other ones? Like his old ones, like Jackie Brown. Oh, that's a great movie. And then there's like Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Kill Bill.
Oh yeah, Kill Bill's cool.
I haven't seen 2. So Kill Bill.
Yeah, there's Kill Bill and then there's Kill Bill Part 2. How have you not completed the series?
I don't know, dude. I didn't know. I just watched it. I just picked it up. It was on fucking Max, and I was like, cool.
That's cool. Yeah. Usually the second one's on there if they don't suggest it to you. I guess some people just never learn.
Just right over my head.
But yeah, no, Quentin Tarantino. Fun movies. Yeah, no, but watch Jackie Brown too. That one's really good.
Yeah.
It's got De Niro in it.
Oh, Robert
De
Niro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Robert De Niro. Talking to me?
Dude, this is blowing my mind. Quentin. I just now want to come up with more movies that you haven't seen.
You know Quentin has a foot fetish, right?
Yeah, he does, like real bad.
That's why,
he's kind of open about it too.
There's feet in all of his movies, right?
Yeah. That's why he's always got a sexy girl with some sexy feet.
Dude, I saw it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that Manson, the chick running around with
Oh,
Charles
yeah.
Manson, sticks her feet up on the dash.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like dirty.
that's that
hippie
girl,
feet.
what, Mickey Madison or something like that? I don't
I
know.
just remember the dirty.
My wife
hippie
loves
feet.
her.
Yeah.
She's the foot girl from the Quentin Tarantino
Dirty
movie.
hippie.
Yeah, she's like I don't know, she's also one of the killers. Oh, spoiler, one of the killers in Scream 6.
I haven't seen any of the Scream movies. Again, don't watch horror movies.
There are 7. They're all great. No, there's like 2 that aren't, but like they're great.
Thanks for ruining that one. Asshole.
Like, sorry everybody for ruining Scream 6.
Yeah, how many people have seen Scream 6? Don't know. But
It's
how many
us.
people won't watch it now because of you.
Yeah, well, you know. But yeah, no. So what because the other one, the movie I was just talking about, Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
The girl, it's like Robert De Niro's girlfriend in it, and she's always showing her feet. Like she has all these different scenes, and she's always showing her feet. And like, yeah, that's the first one I remember watching and going, oh wow, he really does have a problem.
he's a big foot guy. Huge foot guy.
But I think he's kind of just like a sex pest a little bit. I think a lot of those guys, I mean, you know, he works at Miramax. Like that's his movie. Yeah. That's the movie. And that's, what's his name? You know, what's the guy that was jerking off on girls and shit?
Oh, what?
The Me Too guy.
Weinstein?
Oh. Weinstein owns Miramax. Oh. And Quentin Tarantino was the top director.
Oh, I didn't know.
And worked with them until Miramax. I don't even know. I think they probably changed their name or something, but I don't
would think so.
I can't remember what his newer movies are released on. But up until recently, all of his old movies are on Miramax.
Interesting.
And you know, like all of like a bunch of like they did a bunch of independent shit. Like so like all of you know, like the Clerks movies and stuff were on there. It was considered like the most independent, like big company.
Really?
Yeah, they had like all the cool movies came out of Miramax, but they're a bunch of sex pests too.
Yeah, they're a bunch of just greasy little fucking director dudes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like feet.
You know how it is. I think that like, you know, it's like you watch Wolf of Wall Street and you can totally tell it's like when a culture exists like that.
Yeah.
It just predicates, and so like when you're wrapped into that, like or it's like Diddy parties, right? Whatever, all of that. Like once it kind of, it's like it's an idea that'll infect a system of people.
Yeah, that makes sense, and it's like it's actually a great way to put it.
So I just kind of, when I find out one guy's dirty in like a system, I'm like, well, there's at least got to be more.
Yeah.
At varying degrees.
100%.
Yeah.
But back to our original point. So Kubrick, right, used that one film to.
Oh yeah, The Shining.
The Shining and the other one.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. So like, but like the one that anybody out there can picture is that the most notable thing about this movie is the designs of the carpets, and they look like the overhead shot of Cape Canaveral. And at one point, Danny from the film is like has like a rocket ship where it would be, and all these like toys, and he's playing with it like he's about to send a rocket up. But like the way that, like, you know, the idea is that it's just child's play. It's all just for a game. And that there's, you know, and there's a lot of other stuff in the movie. I'm really not doing it justice, but it's like a whole theory. And like, you know, it's a totally different movie than the book. It's one of the things that pissed Stephen King off is that he was like, this is nothing like the book. And at the beginning of the movie, Stanley Kubrick has this crashed bug, and that's like him saying he's killing the idea that Stephen King came up with, because in the original book, the main character was driving that yellow bug. And so like he starts the movie off right away like, Stephen King, we're not doing your story. We're doing my story. And it's all about the moon landing.
That's insane.
And that's the theory. That's the basic sense of the theory. And there's like a lot of symbolism that people say, but like, you know.
That makes sense. That's wild, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know all that. I need to watch that movie now.
Yeah, it's called Room 243.
Room 243.
Just put in Room 2 and then other.
How about this? I'll just look up Stanley Kubrick films and I'll find that one.
But it's not Stanley Kubrick.
Oh.
So that's a documentary. No, I'm saying that's a
Oh.
documentary about The Shining. So you have to watch The Shining and then you have to watch Room 243. That's okay.
Sequel.
No. There is a sequel to The Shining though.
Isn't it Red Rum?
No. It's called it's the one with Ewan McGregor. Dr. Sleep.
Red Rum was in the announcement.
Red Rum is because Red Rum is what the kid he's like Red Rum.
Murder back.
Exactly.
Right,
And
One of my favorite lines from The Office.
What?
When Dwight's like, R is a stronger letter. That's why they call it murder, not muck duck. Yeah, dude.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Man.
I feel like I am a blend of Dwight and Ron Swanson with a little bit of Michael Scott.
That's very charitable to yourself.
No, I'm not talking your ways. Dwight
I'm teasing.
Autistically.
No, yeah.
Yeah, like I match that level.
I just think Ron Swanson is the epitome of what every man really wants to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like him mixed with anything is still awesome.
Yeah.
Like even if you're like honestly, like if you're autistic like Dwight and that with Ron, you're just like some kind of like I might just make you a Nazi. I don't know.
Wow. Heavy accusation.
Like honestly, I thought about it. I was like, it would still be good, and I'm like, no, it wouldn't.
How'd you know
Like what?
for?
Trains in libertarianism? Like that is a bad brew.
That's awful. Well, that's why I have the Michael Scott to balance it
Yeah,
out.
I know that.
You know what I mean?
Because that's the thing.
He cares. He's a nice guy. He cares
He's
about people.
got such heart. That's the thing that saves that
I
character.
have a heart.
Yeah.
And it works.
No, and that's like Michael Scott. The best thing about him is his heart. And everything else is awful. So.
I think that's part of the whole point of the character is like him being such a kind-hearted person shows that like when he does these socially awkward things, these faux pas, it's not coming from him like wanting to be like to hurt people or be rude. He's just trying to be funny. He cares about these people so much.
Yeah.
Like he looks at all of his coworkers as just family. You know what I mean? He's the manager, and these are all his kids because that's the one thing he wants. His kids.
Yeah, he just wants kids all the time.
So like he's a nice guy, and I think it balances the character very well. Because. So I listened to a long podcast about The Office. Yeah,
is it the one with the ladies?
No, it's the one that Brian Baumgartner did. It's like the whole history of like how The Office came. It was him and who's the Greg Daniels, the guy that created the show or the showrunner, I think.
Sure.
He plays Mose in the Office, Dwight's brother.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's Mose. So
oh my god!
Like the head honcho for The Office.
Right? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
He did Parks and Rec too.
Well, what's his name? And who's the guy?
BJ Novak.
Yeah, he wrote it, right?
They switched. So Mindy Kaling, who is what's her name?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mindy Kaling. She plays a character in The Office. I can't remember.
Yeah, the Indian girl.
Yeah, for some reason. She writes a lot of episodes. Paul Lieberstein, who is Toby, writes a lot of episodes.
Oh.
And then BJ Novak also produces a lot of episodes. So they kind of switch through who does it, and it's cool because those three like were on both ends of the camera. And that's why they're not super heavy characters because a lot of what they did is behind the camera, which is cool.
That is really cool.
But back to the original point, I think season 1 is essentially used for like character development, which I think is what makes the show funnier because the characters aren't funny because it's like, oh, haha, I'm in this situation.
Yeah,
it's funny because they're just doing normal things and they're just weird people. Like they're just normal people. Like that's a real work environment. Like you have friends that like do shit that bother you,
Yeah.
And you don't say anything because you're polite, and like that's the environment. But that's what makes it funny, that tension and that awkwardness. But you don't have that without all that character development. And so, season 1, Michael Scott, awkward boss, cringy. You're just like, oh my god,
yeah,
stop.
like,
You hate him, right?
No,
but the longer the seasons go on, like you find out that he's a big heart. He's an actual person. He's a human being. Now, I don't think all of that is intentional because they originally wrote, like when they did season 1, they didn't know if they were going to get renewed.
Yeah.
So I think it happened.
Which is like what happened with the
Yeah.
original one. I think it only got 2 seasons.
Did it really?
Yeah, it got 2.
Oh.
Or maybe it got 1 and it got... I don't know. But the one in England, right?
Yeah,
With Ricky
the original
Gervais.
one.
Yeah.
But
Which isn't as good,
exactly.
honestly.
It's not. But it's like the food over there. It's just not as good. Dude. Like, yeah,
Beans on
fat,
toast.
At least our shit tastes good. You know what I mean? We put bacon on 90% of the shit we eat. Beans on toast, beans on potatoes. Like, come on, man, what are we doing? Anyways.
Well, yeah.
But The Office, I think that's why Michael Scott becomes such a loved character.
Yeah.
At a certain point. You know, there's a turning point for him, I think.
Well, I think it's all of them. Like, they make him, like, you know, and I think that's why it was able to stay on so long.
Yeah.
Maybe a little past it when it should have.
Yeah.
But it's that they made all the characters so bad to start that as you learn to like them, and they just added little bits of, like, and that's the beauty of life, right? Like, you get to know people, and you're like, oh, these people aren't that bad.
Yeah, and that's and it's cool because like they do they take someone like Jim, for example, who's loved for most of the series, and then him and Pam start to fight. And then he starts to get a little weird, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what's going on with Jim?" You know what I mean? They start to like it gets pitted against him almost, but then he has his own redemption arc, and like it's a very well written show. I think I really really like it.
No, it is. Yeah, no, it's probably one of the best shows. It's like our Seinfeld. You know, I would say like. Yeah, like, because some people would say, like, Friends is like a Seinfeld of the time. And I get it from, like, you know, I'm not a big Friends fan.
Friends was a little bit before The Office, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's like that. It's the big show of the time. So, like, Seinfeld, then Friends, then The Office, then...
Now it's like Yellowstone and shit.
Yeah, but that's not, like, a comedy that brings everybody together.
That's fair.
There's like, I don't know if we have one. I don't know. I feel like The Office was the last like big, I don't know. Maybe there's something else. Maybe I'm just judgy and there's something out there.
Maybe you're just old.
That's true. Yeah.
You could just
I can only remember things that were good when I was young.
It's crazy how that works.
It does, yeah, dude.
Lil Wayne's still the best rapper alive, which I think he might be. Lil Wayne, Kendrick, J. Cole are my top 3. But Eminem, I think, might be the greatest of all time. Just going to put that out there.
I'm okay with that Eminem statement, but I feel like I don't know anything about it. So,
anyways, that's beside the point. That's my own personal opinion, and I'm allowed to have that. So, yeah, no, there hasn't been a lot of good shows that have like brought people together recently.
I just think it's different now.
Well,
like we're all streaming shit.
Streaming's taken over cable. That's why I keep trying to get my dad to get rid of DirecTV. Because
that's wild.
Yeah, dude, we still have cable. Like
he still has cable.
We don't even have a Roku or anything, dude. Like no internet in my house. It's a wild. We're basically living like pilgrims.
It's wild. When I found out that is one
like
of the most amazing
caveman.
things. And I went home and told my wife, I'm like, they have cable. They just watch cable. Yeah. She's like, what? How do they do that? And I'm like, I don't know.
I watched it on my phone, dude.
Yeah.
How it'd be like that.
That's a travesty.
Yeah.
I love being to pick. Honestly, it's a blessing and a curse. When I stay in a hotel, I love watching cable.
Yeah.
It's like one of the fun things about staying in a hotel is getting to watch cable again.
You like treat yourself a little bit.
Well, like I don't know why it's so different. Like, yeah, it's very nostalgic for me, I would say. Like, and I always turn on like, I'll be like, oh great, USA has a marathon of Law and Order SVU from the 2000s.
I love Law and Order SVU.
Well, yeah, everybody does, right? It's kind of like it's an opium of the masses, right? We all know it's kind of shit, but like we all kind of want just another hit.
It feels like you treat cable and hotels like rich businessmen treat affairs on business trips. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right? Yeah, dude.
Like,
great, I get to watch 4 hours of SVU in a bed that is just a little too soft.
I like SVU though. It was the best Law and Order. I don't watch any of the other ones. It's still on, dude. They're making new episodes.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would. I don't know. Somebody probably would be very mad at me for saying this, but I don't think I've ever watched regular Law and Order.
Yeah, I don't fuck regular Law and Order. Is that even a show, dude?
It is. Yeah, it's a longer running show.
It's wild.
Actually, maybe not. I think maybe it got canceled. Maybe it's back now, but I think it got canceled a while ago. And then SVU has been on continuously, so
I used to think Law and Order SVU was a little like, you know, because I watched it when I was like young, because that was the only way my mom would let me stay up is if I watched her shows with her. So it was
I
like
get that.
Teen Mom, Law and Order SVU. It was worse. It was damn near traumatized. Like my mom would sit there on Teen Mom and be like, "That's what's gonna happen if you have sex." And I was like, ah. And
You
then
know-
after that, it cuts to like, dun dun, some chick's waking up and she's been like sexually assaulted or something, and it's like. It's some weird sex party because she got drugged. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm fucking terrified.
Honestly, the end of cable is what I would call this period that you're talking about and I'm about to, like, it was a very weird time in cable. I mean, like, you know, it's just like it's all of the worst shit all the time.
Yeah.
And they're just like pumping it out and filling it with ads and like, I don't know, it's wild.
Yeah.
Like my wife has experience with that. Like the sense that what you're saying with your mom about how she'd watch, her mom would make her watch Teen Mom and be like, this is what will happen.
Yeah. And then like Law and Order, some dude's peeping in some chick's window.
Yeah.
Some guy's shouting at him. I'm like, dude, what's going on here, man? Someone's like getting stabbed while running in the park. I'm like, I can't go outside ever now. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like 8, dude.
I think that show only works because it's in New York.
Oh,
but
yeah,
as a kid, you're like, dude, there's rapists everywhere.
Dude, everyone's a child molester, bro.
Yeah,
It's like, fuck,
everybody's
man.
trying to get in this hole, man.
Yeah, dude. Guy at the grocery store smiled at me the wrong way. I'd be like, I don't like that guy.
No, it was serious. So like when I was growing up, I remember Stranger Danger was at like full effect, and it was like my mom was so like she would like hide me in rooms when like workers would come over and stuff. She'd be like, I'm not gonna let you, and it was like always like, I'm never gonna let you get molested. And I'm like, Mom, what's molested? Like my mom's kind of crazy but kind of cool. Like, I don't know, she's just wild.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like, that's like you said, you were at the peak of Stranger Danger. Your mom was probably tripping out, dude. And, like, someone's getting to my kid.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't as dramatic as I'm making it sound, but like it was definitely like I actively was told what molestation was and that I needed to avoid it from a very young age.
100%. My dad was like, "Don't let anyone touch you," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, right.
I was like, "Got it." I could do that. But there was this one dude. He used to work at the grocery store I worked at, and he was just a weirdo, dude. He would like caress like the lower back of like 16-year-old employees, like weird shit. But no one say anything. He was a manager. But dude, I watched a customer interaction he had with someone, and this lady was buying beer, and it was like a heavy calorie dense IPA, right? And she's in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And he's not even like interacting, like checking her out, like at the grocery line. He's at self checkout, and he walks all the way over to the line and starts talking. He goes, "Yeah, you like drinking those?" And she's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, you can definitely afford to drink those with how you look." And I was like, "Oh my God!" And she goes, "Thank you, they're for my husband." Immediately, which is
yeah, that's
That guy would do shit like that all the time.
Oh
so
my
people
God.
like that exist, dude. They're real. They're out
No,
there.
there's creeps, man. I don't know. I think some men just are not like, they don't actually see how creepy they are. I don't know how they don't see it. I feel like it's really easy not to be creepy.
Yeah, I mean,
for me.
it's pretty simple. Like, I mean, you have lines like of what a compliment is.
Yeah.
Anything that you would feel uncomfortable someone saying to you, just don't say it to someone else. Like, you know what I mean? Especially in like a professional work environment. Now, granted, sometimes it is hard to navigate the dating world, but it's no excuse to like.
We work in a very loose industry too for that. Like we can go farther up to the line. We work at a restaurant, so like, yeah.
100%.
There's the line's a little farther, but like also, I'm not trying to find it either, and that's the problem. I think there's guys like, imagine at a grocery store commenting on a guest's body.
Yeah, that's wild,
right?
Dude.
Yeah, like even like like a lot of the people I know, like I know people from the restaurant for years, like my guests, and I would never compliment their body. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh, did you lose some weight? Like, it looks great."
That's
but
a
like
thing to say though.
After knowing you for years, that's like the only way you're gonna get me to say that, and I'll say it to men too.
Exactly. So, but yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like with the just I don't know, dude. Some people just don't like people their own age. You know what I mean? Which is weird, and I don't get that. And those people deserve to be chemically castrated.
Are you saying like
Child molesters should be chemically castrated?
Oh yeah, no.
I don't know if that's
nice.
controversial.
That's
or
a
not.
nice way to say it.
Yeah, exactly. Should end them. Should take them all.
It's
and
one
tell
of
'em
those
about the
things that I
rabbits.
know people would have a problem with, but it is
Yeah.
also like
I mean,
it's nobody
defend a
wants to be the one that kills them.
But also, do you really want to be the person defending a pedophile?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's the other line.
It's really hard. Yeah.
I feel like that's an easy one to pick which side of the fence you want to be on, you know? It's
Yeah.
not a hard
yeah,
It's
if
not a
there
hard
if there
choice.
was a death if there was a reasonable death penalty, what I will even say is that life in prison minimum.
Yes. I think
And they're getting like 3 to 6 years sometimes.
I think that should be the only legal use of the guillotine. But I think they should
be
put their
fun.
nuts in the guillotine.
So no, castration
In front of
is
everyone.
a fine way. I think they do that in like Scandinavian countries.
everyone can laugh
They
at
treat
them.
them really nice, but
Yeah.
they also castrate them.
Yeah.
Like Scandinavian countries, they're like, but their prisons are wild. They're kind of like apartments where you can't leave.
That's kind of I mean,
It's really nice. Yeah, most European countries have very humane prisons.
which is wild.
I don't
But-
know if that's a good thing or
I
not.
don't know. I
I'm
feel
too
like-
American. I'm too close to the Americas to know.
Yeah, dude, I need my prison like hardcore. Like I'm talking.
Yeah.
You get cheese sandwiches and slop every day for lunch, and you're making license plates in an office, in a factory. But I will say, I think we should take a pause because I have to make urines.
Oh my god, me
I'm
too.
gonna make urines. You can-
Okay. And we're back.
We are back. We both made urines, and we smoked another joint.
Yeah, there you go.
Second joint of the day, which is cool.
I don't know. I wonder if we should put some type of thing in here in between that would like deviate it, because I don't remember what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I'm coming from. I'm like, I don't know what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So new topics.
I think we were just talking about movies I hadn't seen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Um,
I'm surprised.
any
I guess
others?
I guess I am kind of older than you. Like how old are you again?
I turned 25 this year.
Oh.
How old are you?
I just turned 32.
Oh, I feel like you were older for some reason. I've always thought you were like 40, bro.
Damn.
I've always guessed like 40. Bro. I thought you like turned 40 this year. I thought you were like 38, dude. Like you're like an old head.
Oh,
I
that's
guess.
so funny.
Yeah.
I do have like a wife and kids, and like I've been, I get that. Like
Yeah,
I got like family things. Like it's like
yeah.
there's like a lived life aspect to me, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start this over because I'm getting a massive shine of light in my eye from the
Oh.
hood of this car. So I'm gonna shut the garage a little bit more so we
whoa,
can start
you're
again.
Double cut.
Double cut, yeah. Let's see. Does this give better lighting? What do you think about that? This. Both of them are on. Is that better lighting? Do you think? Is that better?
It's better with the warm too.
With both of them?
Yeah. Because it adds a little warmth.
That's a little bit of warmth.
It's still dungeony. So now we're back in
Now we're back.
a much darker room because we had to
Yeah.
close the garage door.
I was getting blinded by the sun in a car hood, and it was not a good recipe for the state I'm in right now. Well, I don't think any state you're in, you want to be blinded like that by light. It sucks.
I do think that it's okay though, because
Yeah.
the lighting portion of video production, not really my concern.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. If someone watches this and goes, "Oh, the lighting's off," they can just turn their phone off and listen to it and not watch it. Because
There
it's
you
the
go.
same content, same
Yeah.
stuff. You're getting the same info, same people.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah. However you want to spin it.
Yeah, I've never understood the like polished look for like a
Yeah.
podcast. I guess some people really do view them though.
Well, and I guess at a certain point, it probably like overall audio quality sounds better, and like in your when you're in your like own studio, it's like a set environment. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why they get bougie.
And then you build a set, and then you get
Yeah.
a better video camera, and that's kind of just, it just
Exactly.
revolves around that.
Yeah, but this is just ground level. This is a computer, 2 microphones, no headphones, some dim garage lighting, and an electronic dartboard.
I like that though. I like the
Yeah.
vibe of that. It's
I
very
think
punk
good.
rock.
I think it is too. Yeah, exactly. So what else has been what else is going on? So we've talked about life stuff, your Welks trip, all that fun stuff. A lot of stuff's been going on in the world. A lot of political stuff happening.
Oh yeah, Ross Ulbricht got freed.
Who's that?
Okay, so that's okay. This is the most exciting thing that's happened.
Okay.
So back when Bitcoin was like $20 a Bitcoin,
Yeah.
there was this website that was created called the Silk Road where you could buy and sell drugs online. I allegedly may or may not have used these services at one time. But the guy who created it was just some kid. It was just some 24-year-old kid that just built a website. And then he got put in prison and got charged for all the drug deals that had happened on the website, which technically wasn't him, right? Like, he's just like a kid that innovated, right? Like, there's been there's still sites to this day about that, and nobody's ever gotten the same conviction. But he basically got convicted for 2 life sentences plus 40 years.
Wow.
And so, like, his mom's really sweet, and you could tell he's a smart kid, right?
Yeah.
He did all of this on his own, right? Or he didn't, and there's like, there is there's like conspiracy, ideas behind it. But basically, like, this kid was gonna rot in prison, and he got a full pardon from President Trump.
Wow.
And it's like a big deal because, like, he was, I think any 24-year-old, you may be better know this than I, that makes dumb decisions.
100%.
And imagine if your dumb decision at 24 got you 2 life sentences plus 40 years.
That's not really right.
Yeah. And his mom was like really hurt. I've listened to her talk about how unfair it was and how she just wants him home. And so she was the one that she got it all the way up the line to like Trump, and Trump pardoned him.
How old is the guy now?
I think he's 40 or something. I don't know.
My
I'm
God.
trying to think. He's almost 40, something like that.
That's
but yeah,
such a long time to be
he was in prison 11 years.
That's wild.
So I think he did it when he was 24. There was probably court proceedings. He had to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
That was the original crime date. But then, like, and then he got caught. He got sentenced, and then he'd been in prison 11 years. Wow. And I think he's either just turned 40 or about to turn 40.
That's crazy. Speaking of pardons, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that Edward Snowden should be pardoned?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah? Talk to me about that. Let's hear it.
This is America, man.
Yeah.
You should be allowed to... whistleblowers should be allowed to exist. And if the less secrets, the better. But, that might be a radical thing to say. But yeah, obviously he's not trying to hurt anyone.
Yeah. But I think the big problem is that he stole information from within the government, working for the government. And I think that's why the government has expatriated him. Yeah. Because they're just more, I think, prideful in that sense of not.
Yeah, I guess, like, because it's like you're a traitor.
Yeah.
I get that.
But he didn't, like, give the information to a foreign country. He just gave the information to Americans and then left to Russia to go live because that's the only place he could live without being targeted and stuff because the government was after him.
Yeah, well, he gave it to WikiLeaks.
What is WikiLeaks?
That's like Julian Assange. That's who he worked with. That was what that was all wrapped up in.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I did see the movie, but it's been a long time. I don't remember exactly.
So like, yeah. So Edward, it's the same with the other one that it was Bradley Manning, but I think he's a girl now, and so it's Ashley Manning. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that was another person, and so all of these, any of the documents, those were gathered by people in our government and then given to WikiLeaks, which is technically not just our people. And like that's the
Yeah.
argument. They put Julian Assange in prison for the same
Yeah.
thing. And I don't, yeah, like in my opinion, I think all of those people are just doing journalism at a certain point.
Yeah, but
And you can't, just because, yeah, it can't be illegal to be a journalist in your own country.
But he wasn't a journalist, though. He was working for the United States government. But I'm not defending or opposing what you're saying, because I kind of agree with you. Because at the end of the day, he didn't. It was just telling people that the government was spying on us. Like, you just told everyone that, hey, this is really what's going on. Like, this is how much of what you're saying that they know. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
what I'll even say is, like, he's not telling anybody anything we didn't know already.
Exactly. Every tinfoil hat guy was like, they're spying on us through our phones, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, you know, especially fast forward to where we are now.
Yeah.
Catherine, the other day, she was just talking about, what was she talking about? She's like, oh, I want to take a Pilates class. And then 2 seconds later, Target's on her iPad pops up athletic clothes for Pilates.
That's wild.
It was wild. Yeah.
That happens to me. I found so real cool. When I eventually do get married, after I find a girlfriend, my plan, I have like a wedding ring picked out. I know it sounds kind of weird, but after I explain the ring, you'll understand. It's like a black band, but it's got like the Green Lantern engraved in it, but with like this hard like green line going through it. Dude, it's so sick. It's essentially a Green Lantern ring. So I'm like, that's the one I want. You know what I mean? I want to be, it'd be like Green Lantern, you know? Not really, but like I have the ring. I found a separate website actually that makes replica Green Lantern rings, and they're like $150, and I've been back and forth on buying one for quite some time, if I'm being honest.
I like the confidence that comes with somebody just going on with a Green Lantern ring.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, I love
100%.
that. Yeah,
it's just like a regular ring. Like, I could wear it on whatever, get it for whatever finger I want. But like the first one I was talking about is an actual like wedding band.
So wait, weird question. Was
Sure.
the Green Lantern, did he wear the ring on his wedding ring finger?
I think so, maybe. I know it's...
So is he married to the lanterns?
No. If anything, more so married to the idea of what the lanterns stand for in a more metaphorical sense. But...
Heady.
Essentially, I think... I don't know, dude. And I think the comic book characters, do they even have 5 fingers? A lot of them only have 4 just for artist purposes.
No idea.
I can't remember. If you watch the Justice League Unlimited series, you'd know. But I think like it's either the right hand ring finger or left hand ring finger. But
I don't know ring etiquette at all.
I don't
except
either.
for, honestly, I got my wedding ring tattooed because
Yeah.
I wanted somebody to put it on so that I know what finger I was supposed to put it on.
Well, and I think like sometimes like girls be wearing rings on whatever fingers they want, and like if I see a ring on that finger, dude, I'm not hitting on that person. You know what I mean? They're like out of like.
That's true.
They're out of like the line of like I would hit on them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so like I don't know, dude. And there's been girls that are like, oh no, it's just a ring, and I'm like, oh well, that's
Yeah, but is it?
Yeah, but maybe that's that's the point that they're wearing because they don't want to be hit on. So I know people that do that. I know people that wear fake rings so they don't get hit on. Fake engagement rings.
Yeah, but like then they like.
I don't know.
But like then they all of a sudden they're like, but like.
Yeah.
I'm not married, so you can hit on me.
Yeah.
Like they get their pick?
Yeah. Like what?
That's wild.
That is wild. So I don't know if there's strategy behind it, but
Yeah, right?
I do know certain people that there are.
Who are we to know the mind of a female?
Yeah, the intricacies. The European mind could never comprehend. I can't really comprehend a lot of the time. I think that's why we became such good friends, is because I didn't know a lot about like women and stuff as far as like navigating certain conversations, and you're really good with communicating with your wife. So far I've gauged.
Yeah, I know one woman really well.
Yeah, and so like it's
I don't know all of them.
Yeah, but you kind of just apply that to most of them.
No,
it
I
seems to
I
work for the
appreciate
most part.
that.
So yeah, it's super funny. Just smoking cigarettes and me getting advice on what should I do, man. That's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Wedding rings. If you're not married, don't wear them. Green Lantern rings. Okay. That's the trick.
but not on your ring finger.
Not on your ring finger.
Unless you are married to the idea of Green Lantern. I'm okay
Yes.
with that. We're
The Guardians of Oa. It's the planet they live on, Oa. It's like a giant Green Lantern battery, and they all fly back and forth. They have different sections of the universe.
yeah, with Ryan Reynolds.
No, that movie was terrible. You know what's super funny?
It is really bad.
His when James Gunn first got hired to do his new DC universe, he the first phone call he made was to Ryan Reynolds jokingly and was like, "Do you want to come back?" And he was like, "Fuck no." Ryan Reynolds hates that movie. I think he hasn't even seen it. That's how bad it is. He just never watched it.
It's a pretty bad one.
It's
I
not
don't know.
great. Taika Waititi's
I
in
have
it.
watched it.
I have too. It's not. It was so disappointing. And you know what? I'll even branch out and say I was more disappointed that they did the Hal Jordan Green Lantern over the Jon Stewart Green Lantern, because that's the one
Is
I
that
grew
black
up
versus white? That's what you're
with.
saying?
No, I'm not trying to make a statement about
No,
black
but
versus white. But
No,
yes,
but I don't know them other than
yes,
that.
Jon Stewart is the Black Green Lantern.
Thank you. That's what I
Yes.
was asking.
And he is the one I grew up watching on the Justice League Unlimited series, so that's Green Lantern to me. I don't know much about this Hal Jordan fellow. But
Isn't he like the first one?
technically, I think Hal Jordan was the first Green Lantern, and then it was Jon Stewart. But I think it depends on which universe it is, because sometimes there's like the Justice Society of America, and in that one it's like Guy Gardner. There's the Alan Scott Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner.
See,
They've added a bunch of.
This is why I can never get into superheroes, because I'm like, how many things are there always?
Well, and they've even expanded more so on the idea of like the lantern rings, because the Green Lantern rings operate on willpower. That's why Batman was able to wear it, because Bruce Wayne there's a storyline where Bruce Wayne was almost picked over Hal Jordan. So Bat Green Lantern would have been sick.
That would be cool.
But it's based on willpower, and so there's other lanterns on the like color spectrum that represent different emotions. And so like the yellow one is the Sinestro Corps. They're fueled by fear instead of willpower, is what their rings run on. There's I forget what they're called, but the red lanterns, it's rage.
That's crazy.
So they're fueled by all their attacks are like bloody and like.
Green is like imagination, right?
Green's willpower.
Willpower. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just am like, what does he do? He's imaginative.
Yeah,
That's what they're the most imaginative people.
He's strong-willed, and the more strong-willed a wearer is, the stronger the construct they make with their ring is.
Yeah, that's so Crowleyan.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
No,
it sounds like some 40-year-old shit.
No, that's like he was like a black magician in the 1800s.
Yeah, some old head shit.
Yeah, old head shit.
Yeah.
Some 40-year-old old head shit.
Yeah, the Green Lanterns are cool, man. They're not my favorite. If we're talking DC Comics, definitely not my favorite superhero.
Batman's everybody's favorite.
Dude, Batman's the best. Like, Batman's got the most complex villains.
Yeah.
I mean...
literally, it's a rich guy versus crazy people. They're just crazy.
Well,
Their superpower is that they're crazy.
No, not always.
Like,
though.
not always, but like, come on, that is basically.
It's one.
Batman is my superpower is I'm rich, and their superpower is that they're crazy.
Depending on the villain.
If you really boil it down,
Yeah.
I get that. I get that.
Like,
there's like Bane, and he's like superhuman, and like.
Well, not even to that extent. I'm just talking purely the motivation of like why they're doing what they do. Like,
oh yeah.
So
crazy people aren't just crazy,
well,
but like that's their superpower.
Yeah.
Is that they like, they may be justified in their craziness, but the thing that makes them powerful is that they're crazy about it.
I see what you're saying.
They're just like wild out there people. Like the Joker isn't really a super villain at all. He's just a crazy guy.
No, yeah, exactly.
That's what his superpower is.
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
Yeah. Well, and this goes back to the complexity of the characters, because like Joker, his whole thing is to push Batman to his limits. He doesn't want to kill Batman. That's the crazy thing. It's his motivation isn't to end Batman. He wants Batman. He wants to push him.
Yeah.
Because without Batman, there's no Joker.
Yeah.
Because they retconned and gave an actual origin story to Joker finally in the comics. So he was a comedian and then fell into the vat of acid when trying to commit a crime to get money for his wife and his kid that was going to be born. And so that created the Joker and actually split into 3 different personalities. And so there's technically 3 different versions of the Joker within that. But Mr. Freeze, for example, just wants to save his wife. He's not a bad guy. He's not doing bad things for chaos. He's doing it because he wants to save his wife. Poison Ivy cares about the environment. That's her motivation. She's an environmentalist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she's crazy about it.
Exactly. She's so yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong. I was trying to complete the thought.
Okay, but like, why doesn't Batman just help Iceman to save his wife?
Because she isn't. I don't know, actually. It's a good question. There might be answers to that in the comics. They might just do that. But he just keeps breaking out of Arkham Asylum because he is crazy. I guess, yeah.
See, they're all crazy.
I wasn't disagreeing with you. I wasn't disagreeing with you, I guess.
No, I know. I'm just teasing because it is. It's the base layer. It's the base. It's Batman at its base is that it's rich and smart versus smart and crazy.
Yeah. That's fair.
Driven.
Yeah.
It's just smart people that also happen to be rich or crazy.
Fair enough.
And sometimes rich and crazy.
Yeah.
And like Penguin. The Penguin.
Yeah. Jinx. Yeah, there we go. I mean, he might be the best superhero of all time. Like Marvel, I don't think Marvel has characters that are like that. Like Marvel's.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not always happy-go-lucky. Like the movies are very much so. Like, you know, the good guys are always gonna win, obviously.
Yeah, dude.
But,
it's America, rah rah.
Yeah, but the comics, it's cool. There's longer time between them, so you get to see the effects hit longer, I guess.
I get that too. But the comics are always different. But then you go into like stuff that's like the more out there comics, like I don't know, like even like Watchmen.
Watchmen's really good. I love Watchmen.
But I think that's DC now, but it wasn't when it came out, right?
I think it's it's owned by DC, but it wasn't put into any. It's like an alternate universe, kind of the same way I think Invincible is also owned by DC. Mm-hmm. And so is The Boys.
Yeah.
They're just different comic lines, I guess, just different stuff going on, not tied into any main DC continuity.
No, but I think it wasn't originally. I think it was.
Oh, it was purchased by them later?
I think so.
Oh,
but I don't know. Don't quote. I'm not the one to know this history.
This is why we need a person to Google stuff. We need a guy in a
right?
chair.
Yeah, whenever you watch a podcast, you're like, why do they have that guy there all the time? And then you're like doing it, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I don't know.
And even getting like the correct article creates, I think, more conversation in some context. But I mean, you know what I mean? We got time for that, man. We'll come in prepared next time.
Don't promise anything. Don't make promises you can't keep.
We're just two dudes toking the line, man. That's the name of the podcast, is Toking the Line. We
never introduced. But it's okay.
I think to be 2 hour or however long we're into an episode and to find the name that far in is like better.
Yeah, that might be
suspenseful.
Yeah, I don't. I don't really have any feelings about it. In one way or the other.
Yeah, it happened. It's here.
It's good.
It's just good.
But yeah, I like a more casual nature. I don't know if anybody else does.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying it.
I just think I agree with you. Batman is the best superhero.
Yeah, he is.
That's what I'm gonna
I don't think there's no comparison. Nothing exists like Batman, and like even when any of the other people try, they just don't get it right.
Did you see that Armie Hammer is trying to make a Batman adjacent? It's not Batman. Or maybe, I don't know if it's Armie Hammer. I think it might be.
No,
but he was supposed
Cannibal?
to. Yeah, I think so. He was supposed to play Batman in the early 2000s or late 2000s before Christian Bale's Batman came out. He was going to be Batman in a Justice League movie with like.
How old is he?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but like Common was going to be Green Lantern. Like it was a wild cast, dude. And so he's making this movie called The Dark Knight.
We're the Hot League.
Yeah. It's called The Dark Knight, and it's like basically like a ripoff of Batman, and they're trying to make it, but I think Warner Brothers is gonna sue the shit out of them, so they can't make it.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? Like
exactly. Or it'd be funnier to let them make it and let it be terrible, and then everyone's like, "What is this?"
Yeah, you're just speaking from a fan perspective.
100%.
You're like, I just want to see him make it.
Yeah, dude, I want to watch it flop. That guy he's a cannibal, man.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I never got into that, but like, I just know the one statement that he is that's all I know. But like, apparently, like, I don't know. There was like a documentary on HBO how his whole family's kind of crazy.
Really?
Apparently, it's like runs in the family. Like they're all like fucking freaks.
They all eat people. It's actually
like I said. That's about as much as I know.
They all sat down and watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a family, and it was like, this is it. This is how we're gonna live now. Just collectively as a family, they're like, we're committing to this idea. This is what we're eating now. The health benefits are wild. My gut feels great.
Honestly, like who knows?
Could
be good for you.
Okay, here's a question. And this is very hypothetical, believe me, I don't support cannibalism by any means or any way whatsoever.
Allegedly.
I don't. Let's just say let's say you and Catherine and two of your best friends, just the four of you guys, and you're at their house for dinner, and they're like, hey, I know we said we were going to make lasagna, but we have some wild shit. And they pull out like a little liquid nitrogen box and opens up with all the steam coming out. And it's like a little chunk of human flesh. One, are you going to eat? Are you going to try it? Would you try a person just once and just, it doesn't leave that house? You just, so you know? And two, what do you think the best cut would be on a person? Like, what, you know what I mean? What's the best cut? Like,
I feel like the cut answer is probably easier. I think probably like the butt is probably like a really good mix of muscle and like depending on whose butt.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like pig butt, like you ever had pig butt? Pork butt.
Okay.
I don't even know if that's from the butt. But like it's like the back of their rib area, right? So that's kind of their butt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like muscle, like so you get the lean and the fat mixed in really well.
Fair enough.
I don't know if I could do it. Knowing it was a human, I don't think I could do it.
What if it was like completely humane, like it was all good?
I understand that. Like it freaked me out too much.
I wouldn't be able to do it either. I don't think I would. I don't think I could eat a person.
But I don't know. Yeah,
starvation, different story.
Yeah, because that is the grand equalizer. Eventually, everybody eats people.
At some point, it's either that or you're gonna die, and I'm not dying. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I'll stay alive if I have to.
You'd hope it happened accidentally. And then, we just should eat them now.
Yeah.
That would be how you'd hope it to happen. But, you know, there is some understanding of like, you know, in that situation, you can't just not do something.
Well, yeah. What am I going to do? Just sit there? No.
Let him go to waste?
Yeah, he's already dead. I might as well. Like, it's good meat. Get a fire going.
Right?
Which I think the calf might be a good portion of fat to muscle ratio. Because you don't want too much muscle, obviously. You want a little bit of fat around there.
Yeah.
Maybe like some thigh.
Yeah, but...
Or like a backstrap. I think backstraps would be good. I've had deer backstraps, and they're fantastic, by the way.
I guess I'm just not very knowledgeable about how meat works.
I'm not. I mean, I like steak. It's one of my favorite foods. But, like, I know there's obviously different cuts, but, like...
Yeah, I'm so boring. I'm like, I like fillets.
You want some filet mignon?
Yeah, I want the most expensive thing, and it's delicious. I feel like people who say they like ribeyes are, like, totally lying, and they know they just want a fillet, too. They just want to sound interesting.
Yeah.
That is, I know, probably a very different... Like, I'm sure there's people that like them, but I just don't know how you could.
I don't really get too particular. Whatever cut, my dad, sometimes we mix it up. It's like tri-tip. Sometimes it's filet mignon. Sometimes we're just mixing it up a little bit. So, I mean, we do like roasts sometimes. So
I do like a tri-tip. Like, yeah.
Tri-tip's good.
And I'm okay with the sirloin. I guess I just don't like fat that much.
Yeah, it's got to be a good balance. Like, I don't like big chunks of fat.
That's what I'm saying with the ribeye.
Because sometimes they're like not chewy. They're like a little, like you can't chew through it. It's the worst.
Well, have you ever had foie gras?
No.
Okay. That's the kind of fat that I go, oh, that's good fat. It's goose liver.
Oh.
It's really good.
I bet that sounds good.
But like, yeah, I wouldn't say that like I like normal, like I guess like organ fats are like really juicy, but I don't really like a lot of organ meats.
Yeah.
But like I don't really like the like fats that are in like, just like ribeyes, or sometimes I think what's another fatty cut of steak?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Fatty cut. Just whatever. All right, I'm back.
There you go. I was just playing with the sound. I'd make sounds and see how high it would go up the sound meter with our recording equipment.
Yeah.
Because I'm severely ADHD.
Severely ADHD. I don't know what HD is, but the doctor says I got 80 of them.
That's so funny.
I'm really digging this mushroom coffee, though. If I'm going to be honest with you, I started drinking the rice mushroom coffee, like I told you. It's really it's just nice. It's meant for easy stomachs. It's not like coffee can be really hard on your stomach sometimes, and
I know a lot of people like that.
It's nice, dude. It's really, really it's good stuff.
It was delicious. You made me one right before we started filming. It was really good. I don't know if it's the way you made it or the way it was, but
probably the way I made it.
There you go.
I could be a barista.
Always take credit.
I could be a barista. Right? Is that a male? Is barista female specific? Is it a Spanish word?
I don't know. I mean, yes. It is either Spanish or French or Italian. It's a Latin language.
That really narrows it down a lot.
It just feels like an Italian word because, that's espresso is an Italian thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. But maybe it's the same in Spanish. Sometimes that's
because it's a Latin-based language.
Yeah, Italian and Spanish are weirdly alike sometimes.
They really are, actually.
Yeah,
I've noticed that kind of the more I've gone on and listened to both of them. Not that I sit and listen to Italian a lot.
No,
but you hear it sometimes.
Yeah, it's more Spanish and Italian are closer together than French or English, which are also Latin languages.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm just it's
But you're quite the barista.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even ice too, bro. Let me get ice. I didn't even get to do caramel or anything like that. A little drizzle around the cup. My sister, she does that all the time. She loves to make her coffee, dude. She's all about it.
She's all the accoutrements.
Yeah. Oh, good word. That's a great word. I've never heard that word.
That's a French word.
I could tell that was a French word. Accoutrement is for sure a French word.
Honestly, I didn't think about it until I said it, and then I was like, oh, that is a French word.
Like coup d'etat?
Yeah.
Isn't that French?
Yeah.
That's French for takeover, right?
I think it has a deeper meaning than that,
yeah.
but it's something I don't know.
It's French for fuck this shit, we're taking over.
I think there's a different type of coup, too. There's two types of coups. One's coup d'etat, and then one's coup de fra. I don't know.
That definitely isn't right.
I know
that
that's not
suspiciously
right.
Made up. Suspiciously made up. I do want to go experience Europe, but I don't know if I want to go to France because I've heard they hate Americans there, and I am very much so American, and that's the same reason.
You want to know what they all say about us?
What?
All Europeans. Do you know how they say?
We are fat American people.
No, they go. You know how I can spot an American?
How?
You just look for the loudest person in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their bit about us.
We're American.
Which is so true. When you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, no, it's yes, a lot of us are fat. A lot of us are there's a lot of things you can, but the one thing we really all are is louder than anybody else.
Loud as hell.
Yeah, dude, you can always spot an American.
Yeah, that's why I won't go to Japan because it's super quiet there. My ex was she went to Japan. I think she really likes Japan.
I want to.
She was like, it's super quiet there on the subways. Everyone's respectful, and I'm like, I'm the worst person to be there, dude. I'm so uncomfortable in silence. We sitting there just
you're like, hey, babe, hey.
Look at this YouTube video I'm playing at full blast. It's like those people that take. Yeah. It's like those people that are on the phone and on speaker in public places, like the grocery store.
Oh, dude,
I don't need to hear your fucking phone call.
Americans do it, dude. There will be people walking onto subways and buses with boom boxes and just all kinds of shit, dude. People just do not respect people's sound here,
which is wild. Which, I mean, then again, you're two of the loudest human beings to exist.
Yeah. It's hard because, I was born this way.
Yeah.
I can't change my volume.
I remember I was hanging out at my house and my grandma came to visit. And we had a pool and a hot tub in our backyard and everyone was hanging out and we were swimming and stuff. And I was saying something to my grandma and she was like, "Don't be so loud."
Yeah.
She was like, "I'm right here." And I was like, I didn't think I was being loud. And I got super self-conscious about it, I remember. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm whispering from here on out for the rest of my life.
Yes. That is exactly how I felt. But I've never whispered. I've just been really bad at regulating it, too.
Yeah. I just, depending on, like, the space and stuff, I'll kind of try to be a little aware of it. But,
I'm so bad at it.
Dude, with baseball, it was bad. I'm yelling all the time at baseball.
Yeah.
I'm talking so loud because you have to.
When I get off of work.
Yeah.
I get home and I have to re-gauge my volume because so we work at, like, a live music venue.
Live music.
So, like, I'll be shouting at people all night, and then I get home, and Catherine's like, "Dude, like, you're not at work anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta quiet down." Which I get it. Like, some of it is, like, I can control. But, like, at a certain point, like, it's really hard for me to be quiet.
But I can also hear you in the storage room from my room when I'm working, like, very audibly.
No,
like, I can tell when you get to work. I hear when you
That's
get to
what
work.
everyone says. That's literally what every person has always said to me about Lorimar. They're like, "Well, we all know when Jim's here."
Yeah, exactly. It's loud as hell. Stomping in there like a herd of elephants.
But I have also said that I think because Lorimar is a live music venue, because of that, it's why it's the best job for me, because it's the one time where my voice has never been. It's an asset, not whatever the opposite of an asset is.
Non-asset.
Yeah, it's an asset, not a non-asset. Is there something negative though?
I don't know. Probably. We're not. I'm not
liability. It's not. Yeah, there you go. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not. In my job now, my loud voice is an asset, not a liability.
Exactly. And that's good, man. But yeah, I vividly remember my grandma being like, "You don't need to be so loud." And I was like, "Damn, all right, my bad." What the hell? I can't. I can't agree with you.
You didn't say it.
I know I didn't say it. Love you, Grandma. Mimi, you're the best. That part we might need to take that out. That might not need to stay, just in the event that ever happens.
There's only 2 people in the world that's making uncomfortable.
That's fair. Exactly. Hey, exactly.
Give her the link to the episode 2.
Exactly. You could just skip right on over episode 1.
We hadn't gotten our groove yet.
Yeah.
Which may as well be true.
Yeah, Jim called you a bitch. I'm sorry. Just want to apologize for that.
But yeah, no. I don't know, yeah.
It's my grandma.
I will say that my grandma never said that to me.
That's nice. You're probably a lot closer.
But I only had one grandma.
Oh, I have 2. Yeah, I'm not trying to rub that in your face.
Yeah.
I have 2, bitch. Can't really talk.
I got one to spare.
Yeah. I actually have 3.
Oh shit.
I have my dad's stepmom that they've been married for a very long time. That's my grandma.
Your dad's parents divorced.
They were never really married. They just kind of
passing ships in the night.
Yeah, what is it? A fork diverges 2 roads.
Yeah.
A yellow path or whatever.
That's fair.
Shout out J. Fred. So yeah, and then my grandpa married my grandma Pauline, and she's rad. I love my grandma Pauline. That's where we get our green chili recipe.
That's awesome.
Which comes down from my great grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 grandmas.
I definitely could have been. I could have had 3, if my dad would have ever called.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Well, there's that for you.
No, I say that now.
Yeah.
It's more fun.
No, I know.
Fine for me.
That's okay, man. You said it, not me. You're not teasing me any. Didn't hurt my feelings at all.
Got you. My dad isn't around.
Gotcha, bitch.
But yeah, no. 3. That 3 grandmas sounds nice. That's a lot of grandmas.
But 2 of them lived far away, and one of them lives 20 minutes down the road, and
that's the one that.
Yes.
That's the
one that called me the other night. Did I tell you about that?
No.
So a week or two ago, my grandma called me,
Uh-huh.
and I just smoked a bowl.
Yeah.
I was in a great mood.
Sure.
I'm giggling with my
Who wouldn't
grandma.
be?
Yeah, we're chatting on the phone. It's a great time. We're giggling, having
I love that.
just joking around. Really
Yeah.
funny. So fast forward a week.
Grandmas are the best.
Yeah. Fast forward a week. I just smoked a bowl. Grandma calls. I'm like, cool. It's gonna be just like last time. No. Her power went out, and she had been in the dark for several hours. And her
She's
phone
just
was
raw dogging
dying,
it?
and her phone was
Oh,
dying.
shit.
She's freaking out. So she calls me, and she's like, the power's out. I don't know what's going on. It's dark, and I can't see, and I'm here by myself. And I'm high as fuck. And I was like, oh, shit. She's like, I need you to get on the phone. I need you to call Edison. I was like, I don't know who Edison is, but do you have his number? And she was like, she didn't find that funny. And so I immediately went to my mom, and I went, hey, Mom, Grandma's power's out. And so we drove flashlights up to her and candles, and she was fine.
Good.
Yeah, different experience, though, dude. She was yelling and crying and freaking out. I was so
Didn't
high.
she,
I
like,
didn't know
grow
what to
up
do.
in that, though?
What?
I'm just kidding.
No. I mean, maybe. From Wyoming.
No.
I don't know when.
Maybe. Your
yeah.
family's from Wyoming?
My dad was born in Wyoming.
Catherine's family's from Wyoming.
That's so
Yeah.
crazy. What part?
The Torrington.
I don't know where that is.
It's near Casper.
Is it close to Cheyenne?
No, it's near Casper.
No, that's where my dad was. I think my dad's born
Totally
in
other
Cheyenne,
sides of the
Wyoming.
state. If for those who
Yeah.
are Wyoming illiterate.
Yeah, Wyoming, like me.
Possibly me too. I feel like I only know like a few good cities there.
Dude, here's my question is like, what's in Wyoming? Like, I feel like every state has something, but like, what is Wyoming?
It's like cow pastures. Well, Grand Tetons.
What?
Yellowstone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right, Utah's got, or not you, Wyoming's got stuff.
Yeah, they got stuff.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Like cowboys. That's
Yeah, I know
Brokeback
that.
Mountain.
Oh, that's not.
I mean, like
I've never seen Brokeback Mountain.
no, I'm just saying that's where that movie was placed, and
Oh, yeah?
so I'm sure most of the cowboys were totally straight.
I just have never seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd even imagine that all of them were, but you never know. It's I'm sure it's happened.
I probably. I just have never. I mean, it's never been like, hey man, I'm gonna sit down on a Sunday and watch Brokeback Mountain.
Well, yeah, especially this is where I'm a lot older than you because it was like a award-winning movie when I was old enough to see it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like a big deal when it came out.
Everyone was like, oh my god, not only are they cowboys, but they're gay cowboys.
Yeah.
Everyone loved it. It's wild.
Well, it's Heath Ledger.
Yeah, which
He's
is
a
crazy.
American. I mean, not even American, but like
Went on
Australian hero.
to be the best comic book villain portrayal of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least. Oh yeah, that's.
It's my wife's hall pass, but I really can't break it to her that
She
not really
doesn't-
an option anymore.
She doesn't know.
No, I'm just kidding.
Did you imagine you kept her in the dark that long? It's been like years. And he's like, why hasn't he done any new movies? And like, he retired from acting.
He started a family, lives on a farm now.
He lives on a very special farm, and there's buttermilk, and they play and frolic.
Oh,
That's crazy.
it's my turn. I gotta go pee again.
Oh, cool. Now who's breaking the vibe?
We're gonna find some fun ways to edit this.
Yeah. We're going to find a flow again, too, I think. I'm having... What, did she bite you? Oh, hell yeah. Have another piece of that bread. Clorox wipes, like the disinfectant ones. I don't want her to eat disinfectant. You want to rip another dart?
Yeah.
Just a cigarette before we sit down and commit to this?
I agree.
Brought to you by...
Yeah. Also, today's a little different because, like, it was a different day at the house. Last time, nobody had really eaten, and so everybody was. I didn't know if they were waiting on me to eat.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Today, I'm like, it's like hardcore on time.
Cool.
Okay, and we're back because we
We've-
keep on having to take breaks.
Make urine, smoke cigarettes, the whole nine.
I wonder. Yeah. It's the degenerate like fucking smoker circle.
Yeah,
over.
exactly. It worked, the Unk Gang.
No.
We are the Unk Gang.
What is what is it? What does unk mean? Is that like
Uncle.
a thing? Okay.
Like uncle, like
Is he saying like we're old?
like we're cool, older. Like, you know when you have like the cool uncle? You know what I mean?
Okay.
That, like,
So
lets
that's
you
like a
drink beer and
compliment.
yeah, Unk Gang is
Okay.
kind of, I think so. I believe. I
I
don't
hope so.
speak. I don't
Yeah.
speak teenager now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's wild, dude. It's
Yeah.
wild working with teenagers your whole
Yeah.
life.
We'll
I've
sit-
always known teenagers at this point because I've always
Yeah.
worked in restaurants.
We'll sit and smoke cigarettes, and they'll be out there taking cardboard, and we're the Unk Gang. They're just sitting there talking to us about the craziest little dramas they have going on. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I love getting filled in.
Yeah, it's wild.
Keeps me youthful.
Yeah, it does. I will say that. Like, that is my favorite thing about being, and I'm like a lifetime restaurant worker. I love working in restaurants. It's my favorite thing. And I think it keeps me really young. And like, I know it's probably like a Peter Pan syndrome thing too. So like, I get that, but like, the money's good.
Does it though? Because I thought you were 40.
Yeah. Right? I'm just like,
saying.
in comparison to everyone
Yeah.
else, he's like, he's got to be fucking old as shit.
You just got a kid. You got multiple kids, a wife, dude. You guys old as hell. Anyone who has kids is automatically old.
No, there was so because I worked at this job since I was 28. And so there was definitely a realization when I went, oh, because as I grew up in it,
Yeah.
I realized, oh, I'm part of the old gang now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm more.
The old guard.
Yeah. No, well, it's like Marcy. I'm more friends with like Marcy and like just like the younger cats don't,
Yeah.
mess with me as much.
Yeah. Well, and I've always felt like I'm on the cusp. Like, I don't deal with a lot of the drama that goes on from the younger kids. And that's why, I mean, I've always kind of been more of like an adult-centered person. You know what I mean? So like, even though, I mean, I'm an adult, but like, my friends are older than me. You know what I mean? A lot of the time, like you, Jake.
Yeah.
I get along with that crowd a little bit more than I do.
Well,
the
and
younger
it's also
crowd.
like 24 is definitely old. It's already on the old side of restaurants.
Yeah.
But then when you get into the like 30s, you're like, oh shit, I am in the older half.
Yeah.
Right? Like there is like, because there's always a bunch of teenagers around and they have their own thing going. And then anybody like over 22, like once you're past the 21 year of drinking, you're on to 22. Then you're like in this older group, and it's anyone from like 23 to like
40.
Yeah, fucking 70 sometimes.
Yeah, dude.
I've worked with ladies that are in their 60s, not 70s, but 60s for sure.
Well, and that's like, it's kind of
They'll
like,
still go out to the bars and shit.
oh yeah. Well, it's kind of like in the forest, like you have different ecosystems. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Like there's just different ecosystems of existence.
No, I think that if any politician really wanted to learn how to be really good one-on-one politics, they should just work in a restaurant.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point. You learn a lot of good people skills, and you learn how to deal with all different kinds of people, but appeal to all kinds of different people.
Yeah.
Like with our line of work, you know what I mean? You get people who are like the upper echelon of society making a ton of money, and you also have people that are like our age and like just kind of coming in to hang out and drink some stuff and get drunk,
Yeah, you gotta be good at like a wide range.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's the best. I think it's people that are going into other jobs should work in restaurants still.
Yeah.
Like even though I say I love it and I love everything about it and I want to stay in that field, doesn't mean that I think everybody should, but I think everybody should have experience in it.
Yeah. It just gives you an overall perspective on how you should treat people, because like I think it humbles you in a lot of ways. Like you come in thinking you're the top dog around, and then someone treats you like garbage and you're like, oh, doesn't matter who I think I am, they're gonna treat me like garbage. But it humbles you, and it gives you good people skills, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I've gauged from it. Only the year I've been in that industry, it knocks you down a peg.
That's true. No, yeah. I mean, like, you're not a real server until somebody's made you cry.
Yeah. Well, I haven't cried yet.
Yeah, I know. And I think it all depends. I started serving really early, so there's definitely somebody who's like gotten to me like that.
Yeah.
And every woman I've ever worked with has cried.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, and it's definitely like, not to say, just women, it's a little easier to tip them over the hump. Yeah, God damn it.
Yep. Keep on digging, buddy.
Anyways, but yeah, no, like, people are mean.
Yeah, they really are, dude.
They are just mean, and if they think you're any bit lower status than they are, which if you're serving them, you always are.
Yep.
It will, every now and again, that mean version of themselves will come out, and it's really good at hurting people.
Yeah.
And so you gotta just like build a callus to it, and I've been in restaurants for 13 years, and it's like, I'm not fazed by anything anymore, but I can see when people are like, any of the servers. I've seen a lot of people become servers, and like, even Jake, one of our buddies, I've watched him become a server, and he's like now been a server for a while, so he's more like me. He's got bigger callus. But at first, you know, you get hurt
Yeah.
by shit people say.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, you always got to turn the other cheek.
Yeah, you don't get to like the you know, it's like any playground rule though.
Yeah.
Right? Like if the less you react, the more you win.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know.
Well, and that's the thing. You just gotta if you come off unfazed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm just being a dick.
Yeah, no, people actually tip for that too. Is an
Yeah.
advice to a newer restaurant worker.
Yeah.
If you can take shit and not even react to it, and they know they're being mean, then they will start tipping good.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird. People are so weird. The reasons why they'll tip really well are always very odd.
In that context, though, money does fix that problem, I will say.
No, absolutely.
If you were a dick earlier and you tip me, we're cool then. Next time you come in, fresh start, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You drop a little...
Dude.
You drop an Andrew Jackson in front of me, dude, we're good. All
Money
problems
makes
gone.
every problem seem so much better about a person.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you even think about this. You piss your girlfriend off, your wife. What are you gonna do? You go buy her flowers. You take her on a nice date. You do something like that.
Yeah.
Your buddy acting like a dick. He realizes, oh, dude, I'm sorry. You know what? Let me get this beer. I got you. It's a very simple exchange, you know. And
Yeah.
Little gestures like that do go a long ways, I think.
No, it really does. Yeah. Once I'm on the dole, I'm a big supporter, and that's why
Yeah.
you know you gotta understand how bribery works.
Exactly. You know who does understand bribery? Somali pirates.
Was I talking to you about this?
No.
I just learned this. Well, it's honestly anybody who's watched Joe Rogan has learned this too recently.
Yes.
But like, they're apparently like the first reason why Somalian pirates.
Oh, I did see this.
Yeah, right. Like they were just like the Europeans were killing the fish by dumping chemical waste.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're really like kind of justified.
Yeah, they're
like
Batman
all
almost.
around. Like it, you know. From the very get-go, they were just basically the Rebel Alliance
They're
in
Batman
Star Wars,
villains.
right?
Yeah.
No, they're Well, they got carried away. That is the point. Like anything, you know, anytime you're like being a pirate, I guess you just eventually become like a pirate. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think once you cross the threshold of like wearing like peg legs or eye patches, then you're definitely a pirate. I don't know if they're doing any of that.
No, but I think that's the point. They were fishermen, and then they
Yeah.
stole and kidnapped their first people,
Yeah.
and then they became like these like drug addicted AK-47
Yeah.
gold tooth flesh, you know, like monsters of the ocean. But
Yeah.
they started their origin story is they were just fishermen that were fed up with toxic waste being dumped in their harbor.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
There's an episode of South Park where Cartman wants to be a pirate and he hears about like the Somali pirates on the news.
Yeah.
And so he goes to join like the Somali pirates, but he's talking to him like a real pirate. Like he's like, yo ho, like
Yeah.
he's like, you scurvy dogs. And like they're just these Somali dudes wanting to like steal shit from ships with AK-47s.
That is
Cartman's
pretty good.
looking for treasure.
Yeah, he's like, where'd they bury it? Oh, that's funny.
It's awesome, dude. But he ends up like leading this whole ring of Somali pirates.
Yeah, because, that would, I mean, you know, if you could, I feel like if you really had the, like, know-how of, like a 7th grade kid in America, they could go over there and be like, oh, no, this is how we're going to do it. American kids are just crazy.
Yeah, they really are, dude.
They're just wild.
They're wild. I coach baseball, dude, and these kids are crazy. Some of the stuff you hear these kids say.
Yeah.
My brother's 16, dude, and I've heard things come out of his mouth, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah, kids are wild these days.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, you have two little monsters yourself.
Yeah, dude. Well, I think it's just that everybody's had access to the internet all the time now.
Yeah.
And like, I get it. Like, I censor my kids. I'm not like, go check out whatever you want, Johnny. But like, I think the experience of growing up and having just like, dude, like my kids ask me a question. I don't know it. I look it up. And if it's something really cool and educational, I'm like, let's watch a video about it. We'll watch a video about it. And then, oh, wow. Like, I never had that when I was a kid.
That's fair. Well,
The closest thing would be look it up in an encyclopedia.
or Jeopardy.
What do you mean?
You could learn a lot of stuff on Jeopardy.
Yeah, I mean,
watch an episode of Jeopardy, you
that's
get so
true.
much information, a bunch
That's
of
true.
stuff you didn't know previously.
You're right. My kids never watch Jeopardy now. That is
I-
the one thing they're missing. But they can watch a video on anything.
Well, Alex Trebek is gone. They shouldn't watch Jeopardy now. R.I.P.
And well, have you. So the guy that does it now was the guy that was the winner back when I was a kid.
Yeah, but like
Ken Jennings.
I don't.
He
care.
was a big deal.
I don't care about Ken Jennings.
I know, I get that, but like he was a really big deal when in the heyday of Jeopardy, which was when I was a kid, because anything before or after that is lame.
Which was a long, long time ago. At least 40 years.
But yeah, Ken Jennings, he's like he's definitely like he's the millennials like winner. So all of us millennials that were kids.
Yeah.
So that's the market they're trying to grab with him.
But he can't fill that hole of Alex
Trebek. Alex?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Alex or Alec. I know it's Trebek.
I think in the SNL skits he always pronounces Alex. You know, when it's
Trebek.
what's his name?
Will Ferrell.
No, but who is no, but
Will
The-
Ferrell did Alex Trebek on
yes,
SNL.
but who's the guy that's always badgering him?
Oh, like on the Celebrity
Is it
Jeopardy?
Sean Connery?
Or Chevy Chase?
No, I know. Well, not
Burt
who
Reynolds.
plays him. Oh, it's Burt Reynolds.
It's Burt Reynolds
Yeah.
keeps harassing him. Then Sean Connery is just out of pocket. I love
Is
Sean
it?
Connery. I think so.
In my head, I'm like, I remember him having a Scottish.
That's a good
Scottish
SNL
accent.
sketch.
It is a really good one, yeah.
And I'll
I haven't watched it in forever, obviously.
Well, it's terrible now. Like, it's not really that good. Pete
no,
Davidson was pretty funny.
I just mean that specific sketch. I
Oh,
haven't watched in
yeah.
a while. I don't remember it as well as I should have.
Yeah. Well, I just meant SNL as a whole is kind of going downhill.
Yeah.
I think after that crop of like Bill Hader, Will Ferrell, and all that group left, dude, it was done.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think I agree. There's a take out there.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Gooding is the one that came
Okay.
up with the take, and it's that SNL is the best when you're a kid because it's whenever you feel like, ooh, it's naughty that I'm staying up past 12. That's when SNL's the best. And once you're not enamored with the idea of staying up past 12, then SNL becomes bad. And it's the cast members you know from that time. And once those cast members leave, you think SNL has gotten shitty.
Yeah, but I mean, also look at like how many SNL sketches nowadays do you hear is like, oh, these are such like ground like. You could go back to like the early days of SNL and like there's still sketches that hold up today that are really, really funny.
Yeah, that's
and I
absolutely
think that
true.
quality isn't there anymore. I think that's why it's going downhill. And you may be right with the bias because I do really like Will Ferrell. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, but even you said Bill Hader, who was like, that was when you were a kid.
Bill Hader was funny too,
yeah.
dude.
No, he is. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
He was on the show when I was a kid,
Yeah.
though, is what I'll also say. I love Bill Hader. I think he's hilarious. Fred Armisen,
Yep.
I think is so funny.
Yeah.
Again, that was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, so like, but like any of the people that are past then, like, you know, weirdly enough, Kenan Thompson was still on the show when I was a kid.
He's funny, dude.
Yeah, I
He
know.
can be funny.
But it's, yeah, I think it's more that he's like, he's got to be in his 50s now.
Oh, 100%. He has not left SNL either.
No.
He's just a seasoned regular.
Yeah, right? Like forever.
There's a Bill Hader sketch though, where he dresses up as the Cat in the Hat from like the live action one, and he's with the two kids, and the mom walks in, and he like looks at her, and he's like, "Linda, it's been years." Like they used to have a thing, and so then Thing One walks in, and he goes, "Oh, Thing One, I haven't seen you," and he's like, I actually go by Jonathan now. It's such a funny sketch, but that's probably one of my favorite Bill Hader bits on
There you
SNL.
go. Yeah, I've never seen that one, but I love Bill Hader.
There's
personally.
There's a Will Ferrell one that never made it to air. It's like the old prospector. His name is Gus Chiggins. Watch the Gus Chiggins sketch
I
next
will.
time you get a
That's
chance.
like you
dude.
look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, you could find it on YouTube. It never made it to air, but it's like one of the funniest Will Ferrell.
That's crazy. There's stuff on SNL that never.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always live, right?
No,
That's the
dude,
point.
But it got cut. Like the
Oh, it was like yeah. Okay, it was
got cut.
because there are parts that are filmed prior.
Yeah.
For when they're switching sets.
But yeah, exactly. And they can also say like before the show, we're not doing this segment or this part. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like Seth Meyers. He breaks a lot. Jimmy Fallon. He gets everyone to break. It's super funny. definitely worth watching.
I know. Isn't that weird that that's the best part in SNL is when people break, right? Everybody loves that shit.
Yeah. Oh, we were in such a good flow.
Well, yeah, that's okay.
It's okay.
We should probably finish it up anyway.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
We should. Is there an outro thing
Is
we
there
should
an
do?
outro?
I don't know.
I guess in conclusion,
I guess we'll record another one next week, and
Yeah.
we'll see you guys on the other side, and we'll see how we even format this.
yeah, we'll toke it one step at a time.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
okay,
it
bye.
one step at a time. That might be the outro.